I've said it many times before. If you look up where Jordan Maxwell took the last name, most people know him as having. It's a poor way to put it, but if you look up where he took it from, it's very telling of who he is and or who he was. More specifically, he was controlled opposition. If you listen to this, it's misdirection. It's propaganda.
You need to look at the Vatican. Once you begin to look at the Vatican, now it's going to get serious. Because you need to remember that the Pope has dominated Europe for some 1,600 years. And Europe has dominated the world for 1,600 years. And our American system is a Vatican system. We live under the Vatican in this country. The Vatican system, of course, is based on the ancient Roman system. And in Rome, the seat of power for Caesar was called Capitol Hill. And so every morning, Caesar would go up on the hill, Capitol Hill. Capital is a Latin word for money. You either have the capital or you don't. And
The irony is
in the Capitol Hill,
pretty
Caesar
fucking
would meet
thick.
with the Senate. That's what we have, the Senate. The symbols of the ancient Roman Senate were two fasces, the crossing of the fasces. That's the symbol of the United States.
Keep in mind these symbols. I've pointed this out many fucking times. House of Congress podium. This is the other notable symbolism that most people overlook. Look to the right and to the left, and you'll see the symbol of the fasci. It's a bit more obvious in this case, and it's very telling.
When you see the President of the United States standing and speaking to an audience,
He means the steward of the District of Columbia. All presidents are superficial titles. It's because the title of Nobility Act states presidents can't hold official titles such as Baron, Duke, Viscount, or Viscount, however you want to pronounce it. That's also why they go under the banner of Commander in Chief, because our masters are laughing at us.
The room where the podium and then the Speaker of the House and the Vice President sit behind him. When you see someone making a speech in that room, look on both sides of the podium. Don't look at the person
Same
talking.
thing.
Look at the symbols. For many will look with their eyes but not see, and will listen with their ears but not hear, and with the heart not get the sense of it. You need to open your eyes and look at the symbols on both sides of the podium, which is about an 8 or 9 foot high fasci, called a fasci, a bundle of sticks with a hatchet head, the symbol of royal power in Rome. Our system is under Rome. Doesn't matter what you think of the Roman Catholic Church. It doesn't matter what you think of the religion of the Roman Catholic Church. All you need to know is your country is dominated by the...
It's not a country, it's a corporation. And it has been since 1871 when the District of Columbia was created. Back to point. He's also telling you a bad pun. America is the bottom of the food chain in terms of the trilateral city-states, which means it is directly underneath Roma. The District of Columbia is underneath Roma, or the Vatican, or the Catholic Church, or social control. In other words, the military-industrial complex is beneath social control. America is beneath the Vatican. Yeah. But that's two. We're talking about the trilateral city-states. And Jordan just so happened to neglect the fact that the top of the fucking food chain is the UK, and it's known as the Crown. And it's a banking financial center. It's related to the royal family and the, what is it called? The black nobility in Spain, which is also on the crest of the royal family and all that shit. But it's called the city. It's a banking financial center, and it doesn't come up because you're not supposed to think in terms of it or know about it. That's also why America is a crown colony, a vassal state under the crown, not the Vatican. It's a fact. Look it up. Canada, Australia, New Zealand, these are also crown colonies, vassal colonies, under the crown, not under the Vatican. And it would come up if people knew what the fuck they were talking about, but most people don't. Each one of these trilateral city-states is symbolized by an obelisk, which in most cases, our masters traveled long distances with these things. Take the top of the food chain, Cleopatra's Needle, and look up how far they traveled with that obelisk to put it where it's at today. That alone is telling that it means something. And it's pretty fucking shiesty how much time, energy, and money they spent doing that. Also, look up the name of the obelisk that symbolizes the Vatican. I used to joke around, and it took people 10 years to finally answer the question. I used to say, I don't know what the name of that shit is. It must be dastardly. And only within the past year, somebody finally fucking used the brain between their ears and looked it up. And they told me, oh, dude, this is the name. And I'm like, good job. Somebody can fucking research. Superficial research, but research. And then most of you should know, at least if you live here in the States, you should know the name of the obelisk here in the District of Columbia, America. It's the Washington fucking Monument. And if you look up an aerial photograph of it, you'll see the Vesica Pisces, and it's sticking out of it like a dick, because it's also a Shiva Linga. You'll see the same symbolism. Where? In the Vatican. It's a Yoni and a Shiva or whatever. It cracks me up. People don't have a goddamn clue what's going on, but they repost this shit. Either way, as always, what the fuck do I know?